Guys, welcome to the continuation of construction safety management training delivered by OSHA Safety Consult Nigeria Limited, authorized training partners, OSHA Academy. So today we'll be talking about involvement in safety and also the construction safety management system, work and work site analysis. You understand? So those are what we'll be talking about on today's training. So let's go. So let's begin with involvement in safety. So management and employees must be involved. Now, to have a successful safety management system, it is very important that employees are involved in the process, be it the planning process, be it in safety, making safety policies, or even in the implementation process, the employees should be carried along. Now, the reason is solely because the employees are usually the closest to these hazards, understand? They are usually the first to sight them or come in contact with them, and they are the ones that actually know where these hazards are, can easily identify them. So by this, it aids the management in easily identifying hazards and quickly responding to them. And also because they are the closest to these hazards, they have some level of experience or knowledge regarding the hazards that can be shared with the management or the company and help to improve the entire safety management system. So it's very important to work with them as it makes the entire to be easy and also aid in implementation. You understand? By working with them, it helps them to have confidence in you and also help in making the implementation process to be a lot easier because the employees are the one to implement the different systems, management system they are going to be putting in place, safety management system that you'll be putting in place. So involving them in the process, you already have that guarantee of them implementing and carrying out the various things that are steps or systems that are outlined in your policies or whatever. Then also, the management also has a role to play. They have a role to play by what? Leading by example and also showing commitment in responding swiftly to hazardous situation. You understand? By doing that, by showing that commitment, responding to hazards as at when due, it helps to give the employee confidence in working with you and also carrying out their job, knowing that you have their safety in mind. You understand? So it is very important for the employees to be involved in the safety management system as well as the management as well, leading by example. There is some of the components of employers and employee involvement in safety are responding to safety and health issue. So management in your company should take prompt, consistent action when responding to safety and health issues. Doing so will demonstrate their commitment to addressing safety and health concerns and encourage employee participation. Understand? So when basically, like we said, this management, they lead by example. They respond swiftly to safety concerns. By doing so, you are showing some level of commitment to the safety of your employees, and this in turn give them confidence in participating and carrying out their job process as well. So the next thing here is the employee participation. The employees in your company should be given an opportunity to provide input regarding recommendation, safety and health product procedure, and all of that. So basically, we already understand the need for employees to be involved in these processes. You understand, like we said, they are the ones that come in, they are the ones that are closest to this hazard, so they have some certain knowledge from having maybe seen these hazards or experienced them and all of that. They carry some certain knowledge regarding these hazards, and they are the ones that know where these hazards are located because they are the ones working in that environment. You understand? So with this knowledge, it is wise to allow them to make inputs. Understand? Allow them to make inputs and also make recommendation in the safety management process and all of that. You understand? Then it's also exercise programs. Exercise programs. Now this is talking about putting different programs in place that will help employers in identifying risk factors and also the best practice to go about them. You understand? This could be as pre-tasking plan, and it's to say planning for the project and the safety concerns even before you embark on the project, involving the employees during the planning process and all of that. Then also training employees to know the risk factors that are involved in their project and the best practices in curtailing them as well. There's a safety inspection. So one of the best ways employees can participate in company safety program is to help in conducting safety inspection. You understand? Now by this, it makes the entire process to be very easy. You understand? Like we said, these employees are the ones that have the foresight of these hazards. They are the ones that know where these hazards are located. They are the ones that even likely know the effect of the hazards of the hazards even before the safety inspector. So going about safety inspection with this employee makes the entire process easy. They know where these hazards are located. So instead of you going alone and trying to figure out where hazard is, by simply working with the employee, they take you directly to where the hazard is, you understand? And they will tell you one or two things that you may not know regarding the hazards because they are the ones that were there first, you understand? So by working with the employees during safety inspection, it makes the entire process easy, makes identification of hazard easy, and therefore a profiling of solution also prompt as well. Then you have the safety recognition program, talking about the management developing a strategy, you understand, a strategy or a program for employees to identify risk factor or hazards that may be involved in their work practices. You understand? Now, each of these a safety recognition program should be designed to suit your company, to designed to suit your own organization. You understand? There are different uh, safety recognition programs, but should be tailored to suit your particular organization. The one for a safety recognition program for company A may not be suitable for company B or may not work for company B. So it's important to have your own a safety recognition program tailored to suit your organization. Now, the next is the construction safety committee. Now, the purpose of this committee is to give the employer ability to participate in the implementation of the safety and health system. You understand? Now, basically, like we said, the employee they are the closest to the hazards. You understand? They are the closest to the hazards and they have some foreknowledge regarding the hazard. So involving them in your committee to be able to bring suggestions and recommendation in the safety process is a welcome idea, you understand? Then also having the employees as member of the committee also gives some level of confidence to the employee, you understand? It shows that you are willing to hear from them and their voice matters, you understand? And that gives them some level of confidence as well. And now knowing that these employees are the ones to implement whatever strategies you are going to come up with. They are the ones to put these strategies into practice. Having them in your committee already gives you that knowledge of knowing that they are going to be carrying out or implementing these various strategies you have put in place, understand? So that confidence that they have in you by involving them will also aid in helping them to carry out the various strategies outlined and ensuring the safety of the company as well. So the safety committee is expected to comprise of the management as well as the employee or representative of the employee, you understand? And they should be having meetings as much as once a month. You also have suggestion programs. So the employee in your company should be encouraged to make safety and health suggestion. The reason is already known. These people they are the closest to the hazards. They have some level of experience or knowledge regarding these hazards. So therefore, their suggestion will definitely be useful in improving the safety system of the company. Then employee right to communicate. Now there is an OSHA under the OSHA rights of employees have the right to be able to air safety concerns without fear of reprisal. They are protected under the OSHA right. OSHA gives them the right to be able to air safety concerns if they're in any of such situations. Now, it is expected that employers do not carry any form of reprisal attack on an employee that airs his or that air is safety or health concern in the course of their work, understand? Either by reporting to OSHA or reporting to the management. This should not be a yardstick to attack that employee, you understand? You should be able to give your employee voice. Now, having a reprisal attack on your employee brings about fear, you understand? And once there is fear, it means some of the hazards that will be encountered, they will not have that freedom to come and express them to you. And that will cause damage to your company. You understand? It will affect your DART rating, your EMR, as we discussed in our previous video, and all of that, which will, in the long run, affect your company abilities to win contract and all of that. You understand? So having a system that allows the employees to be able to relate and communicate and air their views and safety concerns without any fear of attack also help to improve your company or organization as well. So finally, we have the gaining recognition. Now, as your safety system begin to improve and the effect is felt in your company by the reduction of injury and hazard occurrences, there are tendency for you to start beginning to get awards from safety bodies and all of that. You understand? And this is only possible when you make safety a core value in your company. You make it a culture, the way of doing things in your company. You imbibe it in your management and in your employee. It becomes a way of doing things, a core value, a culture. That is when you are able to achieve some of these things. But when you make it just a priority, it becomes a short target, a short fix, you understand? Because as time goes on in the course of your company, there is tendency for your priorities to change, understand? And that makes you to fall apart when your priorities change as regarding safety. But when it is a core value of your company, when there's a culture in your company, it becomes a way of doing things permanently in your company. And as a result, you start gaining those recognitions from recognized safety bodies and also increase your company profile as well. So let's move on to the next chapter talking about the construction safety management system and the work site analysis. There's a plan for work site analysis. A work site is a combination of systematic actions to provide you with the information you need to recognize and understand the hazards and potential hazards of your workplace. So basically, the work site analysis is talking about actions put in place to provide the needed information for you to be able to recognize and understand hazards that are related to your workplace. You understand? And now, in planning a construction worksite analysis, you should ensure to put into consideration a comprehensive baseline survey, change analysis, as well as job hazard analysis. Now, other factors that should be considered in this worksite analysis include employee reports of hazard, accident and near miss, accident slash incident investigation, injury and illness trend analysis. You understand? All these are things that you should consider in a worksite in a work site analysis. Now, for the comprehensive baseline survey, the comprehensive baseline survey is basically talking about the review of previous accident, injuries, illness, complaint, and even previous study as regarding the safety of a particular business or project that you want to embark in. You understand? You do this review to try and know the various kind of hazards that are associated with these jobs, the number of injuries that have been recorded in the past, how these injuries occur, the various accident investigations that have been carried out regarding the various accidents that have occurred in the past in this line of business or project, understand? And the different solutions that were given, the different follow-up method, techniques that are used to prevent this accident and all of that. So you do your review, your study regarding the previous safety scenario on this particular business or project that you want to embark on. That is what the baseline survey is talking about. Carrying out all this survey, know what the safety concerns in that particular project is before you embark on the project. That's what it's all about. Now you can employ a private consultant to run this analysis, or an insurance company, or even a government body to do or to run this analysis for you before you embark on a particular project. So here it says the baseline survey should include a review of the following: copies of written inspection and the survey by the fire department and in-house required safety and health standards. Talking about inspections that may have been carried out regarding that particular project by the fire department in the past, you get those documents and you also review them. You understand? You also review them to get some insight regarding fire, whatever, regarding that particular project you are to embark on. Then you also have employee reports of hazards or potential hazards. You go back to the OSHA department, get some logs, the OSHA 300 logs, and know the various hazards and incidents that have been reported from that particular project that in the past from that particular projects that you want to embark on, accident and incident investigation with corrective actions and follow up. Understand various accidents and incidents that have occurred and investigation that have been carried out regarding that particular projects, you understand, and the various corrective actions and follow up that were done afterwards. Then injury and illness trends, understand, are there trends of injury related to that particular projects? You understand? You also try to find out those things as well. What are the kind of protective equipment that are used, or are they new and improved ones that are used that can be used, or the ones that should not be used? Just try and find out all this, run this analysis. Understand, as they are all part of what they call the baseline survey. All these analyses are referred to as what the baseline survey that you have to do before you embark on a particular project. All right, so the next is the change analysis. Now, in the course of carrying out a project, there is tendency for changes to occur in the process. As the project goes on, changes may occur in the process. Now, as these changes occur, there are tendency for them to introduce new hazards, you understand, or unsafe way of carrying out this particular job. So with the changes, there is tendency for new hazards and unsafe practices that may occur in the work environment. Now, the management of these new hazards or unsafe work practices that may result from the changes that occur in the project is what the change analysis is basically talking about. You understand? So changes in the following categories need to be reviewed. The work site layout. Understand? Now, if for instance the changes occur needs there is a need for new layout to be identified as a result of the changes, then such layout should be laid out properly and everyone to be carried along as well. Now, for instance, if as a result of the changes made in the project, there is a need for new emergency route. You understand? That emergency route should be made as soon as possible and with every worker aware and informed of the new emergency route. You understand? For instance, if there are new danger zones presented as a result of the changes, you understand, you identify and map up those danger zones and ensure that everybody is aware of those danger zones as well. So the work study is basically talking about important safety areas that need to be pointed out as a result of the changes that may have occurred in the course of the project. Then the materials are talking about maybe changes that may occur in the materials that are being used that may introduce new hazards as a result of that from that material. You understand? Those are what it's talking about. So you do what? You make those hazardous situation known and also profile solutions and ways to do them safely. Understand? Then process technology is talking about practices, maybe some unsafe practices that may result from the changes, you understand, and how you can correct these practices and ensure that the workers go about the work by doing the right practices or introducing the right practices as a result of the new changes or hazards that have resulted from the changes. You understand? Then also, let's say for instance, you understand, as a result of the changes that occurred in the project process, now the project involves heights. It involves height, and as a result, you are expected to put on helmet to prevent you from maybe fall of equipment and all of that. You understand? Then, or maybe in some cases, maybe the work process or the changes that occur involve new processes that involve the use of hazardous chemical or processes that may expose you to bloodborne pathogens. You understand? Then there will be need for constant decontamination and also housekeeping as well. You understand? So those are what the process technology is talking about, and also the equipments, changes in equipment that can result to hazardous situation or conditions, and also the right way to use those equipment as well to prevent the new hazards from occurring. Then also we have the job hazard analysis talking about the JHA. Now the JHA is basically an in-depth analysis of a job task to identify hazards or unsafe practices. You understand? A detailed analysis, in-depth analysis to identify these hazards and unsafe practices. You know, you can go as far as analyzing the task, the tools that are used in the task, and even the work environment in details to be able to identify these hazards and unsafe practices that can lead to hazardous situations. You understand? Then it says steps in basic JHA. So list the steps in the job procedure. In the job or procedure. That is to say, you break down the task or the job you have to carry out, to break it into different steps, and you analyze each of those steps thoroughly to identify any form of hazard associated with any of the steps. You understand? Then describe the safety and health hazard in each step. Once a hazard is identified, describe the hazards. You understand? In each of those, in any hazards identified in the steps, you describe the hazards, and also what you develop preventive measures for those hazards as well. Having broken down the task, identify the hazards, then you do what? You develop preventive measures. Then finally, we have the safety inspection and report. Understand? Now, safety inspection is one of the easiest and most frequently used tool of carrying out assessment of workplace hazards. You understand? It's all about walking around and searching for hazards. You understand? You walk around, you look around in search of any hazards that may be found in a workplace environment. You understand? So that's basically safety inspection and report, just walking around and searching for hazards. You understand? So this brings us to the end of today's training. So we'll meet again for the concluding part of the training. Until then, enjoy the rest of your day and thank you.